All right.
Yeah, Senegal are the new African champions after defeating Morocco in the AFCON 2025 finals. And to unpack all what happened this evening with me is Biodu Banjoko, Warifa Marcos is here. There's Segodi. My name is Afolabi. Welcome to another show. So it was a brilliant game, tactically exhilarating, and I dare say my own player for the tournament, I don't know what you guys think, is Sadio Mane. His skill, his experience, his industry, his pressing, his hard work, even at that old age, I think he was excellent. And in the build-up to that goal, I think it was much of his effort that resulted in it. I don't know what you think, Biodu. Okay, let's have.
Good evening, guys. Great to be here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was saying
Sadio Mane's excellent display was capped with that goal. His industry, his hard work. I mean, with all the experience and everything. What do you think?
Yeah, it's spot on. You're right. He doesn't really have to wear the captain armband to show leadership being on the field. Tremendous performance from Mane. You saw when that issue came up, he had to rally round and get his team back to the field to continue playing. Just imagine if they hadn't continued playing and get that belief that Mendy could save that penalty and them winning the trophy. So I think he's the player of the tournament. The player of the tournament doesn't have to score every goal in the game.
Yeah,
it's how he contributes to the team's victory. Yes, he did his own part. He scored where he needed to score. But the mentality and the strength he gives the younger ones and the inexperienced ones to come on, to keep their head down and believe and play the game. And yes, well deserved. Congratulations to Senegal. During the last show, I said it, I'm Team Senegal all the way. I'm happy they made the Moroccans look ordinary before we go more in depth into the play, but I'm quite happy with what Senegal did. I believe this was what Nigeria should have done going to play Morocco, and we just did not fight enough. The Taranga Lion spirit of the Senegalese came into play. And yes, they are champions of Africa for the second time.
Yeah, absolutely. Segodi, Sadio Mane, he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I think once again today was a father figure. What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely. That guy today, he was massive. Actually, all through the tournament, you could see his maturity. Not only with his captaincy and leadership, but you can also see it. His leadership also shows on the pitch, the way he holds up the ball, the way he controls the tempo of the game, the way he's carrying his team, the way he's showing maturity on the team. I don't think I've seen any player that plays with such maturity in this tournament. He was absolutely sensational today. Like you could see the way he created that goal. It was all him. Like his maturity, he's calling off his team, coming back to the pitch and playing the game, and he still shows that enough enthusiasm to win the game. Was excellent tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Warifa, what are your thoughts? Even after leaving Liverpool to go on to the Saudi Pro League, he looks like he still has everything under his armory. What do you think? Sadio Mane.
Yeah, first and foremost, I have to say congratulations to Sadio Mane. You know, I've been admiring him right from time when he was in Southampton in England. Now, I think Sadio Mane should be the player of the tournament. This why? Because he had the courage to go into the dressing room to bring back, to convince his players to come to this game. It's just like, I remember there was a particular match some years ago when someone was supposed to score. A West Ham player, forgotten his name, now stops the ball and said, no, the player is on the floor. So they're supposed to pay attention to him. That's what Sadio Mane did. And again, if you watch the academy, they played this game from the beginning of the game. The Senegalese guys, they just believe in themselves. They came all out, attacked players in the midfield, and take on the Moroccan. That was what Nigerians were lacked in our match against the player that are dying. Go head on with these guys. Morocco, the Senegalese, even when the penalty, they still came out to play. Therefore, Diaz, I don't know what kind of player, did Chukwueze there to miss the penalty. This is, for God's sake, what was he trying to do? his own is even worse than Chukweze's own self. So I think congratulations to the Senegalese.
Yeah, very good one there. And to say that Yassin Bono, the Moroccan keeper, for me, was the best Moroccan player on the field today. That shows you just how poor and ill-prepared Morocco were for Senegal. I think Senegal got their tactics right. This was a Yassin Bono that had 6 clean sheets in the tournament and 12 overall in AFCON tournaments. If it had not been for the Moroccan goalkeeper, Senegal would have been home and dry. Even before that goal that he scored, I mean, it was excellent today, but it wasn't enough. And it showed why Senegal went on to win that game. I think, like Bedu said in the other game, Brahim Diaz is not for anything that he sits on the bench of Real Madrid. He was ludicrously found out today. I didn't say anything particularly fantastic that he played today. And I think the Senegalese got their, tactics spot on. I don't know what you think, Bedu.
Right.
Yes, I agree. I think, to be fair, I think the referee on the night had a little bit of a dibble. But to be fair, he was also strong and firm in some of the calls he were making. You could see the way he officiated this game, compare that with the officiating in the Nigerian-Morocco game. You can see that there was a difference and clear gap in terms of confidence of decision being made and not to be rifled by the crowd or by home advantage or order. I think the referee was fantastic. Yeah, there was a bit of a question of why it is allowed the first Senegalese goal and decided to give the Moroccans a go. But if you look at those 2 decisions critically, they were actually correct. They were the right decision on the day. So nobody should say the referee was impartial or unfair in the game. The referee was spot on in the game. I think for Brahim Diaz, my thought was he would just go in and blast that ball with all the strength in his leg and just hope the goalkeeper goes the wrong way. But what was he thinking? Trying to do like a Panenka?
He was thinking
maybe he would throw himself to one side of the goal. Quite disappointing. I know he will have a nightmare for the next couple of weeks. He will not. He will be kicking himself. I think one important thing I noticed from the Senegalese, I don't know, but I think they spoke to a psychologist coming into this game. And I think that is something, I don't know if the MFF has a psychologist as part of the backroom staff of the Super Eagles players. Because if you look at the way we went through that game, the mentality, the psychological mentality went through that game. We didn't go into that game to believe and play the way we play. But the Senegalese, the way they went into that game were like they were going and if you see from their essay, they were complaining from how their team were mobbed from the train station. They were complaining of the sale of tickets. They were complaining about the training ground that they were giving and how Moroccans were able to fight. So you see that this was a footballing nation that knew what it took, and they needed to stand with their players that yes, we are here to support you to go in there and fight and win this trophy. But Nigeria, we didn't do any of those. We just let everything be. Okay, they gave us the stadium, let it be. The referee was making wrong calls. Nobody complained. Everybody was just demoralized. And you could see how that impacted in the results. Look at the Senegalese when that penalty was called. Yes, I don't agree with the behavior of moving all the players out of the field. But that is also
show your grievance
to the referee that we are here to fight and we are upset with certain things, certain calls you are making. And for me, I'm very happy. I'm not disappointed. Like I said, I was rooting for Senegal, West Africa. Here we go. Even if it's not Nigeria, Senegal is representing the region. Yes, we have another AFCON.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Biodo. I think Senegal did us very, very proud. They came into the game with the right mentality, the mentality that never say die. These people are not going to use home advantage to take this from us. And they went all the way. Even after all the odds were stacked against them, traveling by train and all of that, they didn't allow that to fluster them. And if you look at it, Seguri, because I'm coming to you next, I mean, Morocco has dominated possession with almost every game they played. But here, Senegal had the lion's share of the possession. Or was it the tactical change from 4-3-2 to 4-2-2? Or what do you think Pape Thiaw did that changed the game and made Senegal so dominant in this game, especially in the first half? Segodi, your thoughts?
All right, now I think what really worked on for Senegal is they are very good on their build-up. Like they've been building up for a long time. So now their build-up is almost the same level as Morocco's build-up. But their advantage is they have the physicality. They have the players in the middle of the park that can receive the ball and still not lose the ball. You know, like that was an advantage for them to even dominate Morocco on the ball. Because if you see the Senegalese players, they play all over the world, and then they've been playing this type of football the whole 4 years. They've been building up for this challenge with their type of football. They never change. They never, even if they play Brazil, they play the same football. So it was not a problem for them today to play exactly the same football and also dominate Morocco with the same football, because they knew what the advantage they have over Morocco is. They've got the physicality and they've got the players that can even finish outside the box. They can head Morocco up front.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I think this transition to a 4-2-2-2 really helped them in this game, because they had two number 8s, Pape Gueye and Lamine Camara. That young boy, Lamine Camara, that plays for Monaco, the guy excelled. Were it not for the fact that he got an early yellow card, we would have seen him play into the game. The guy was hardworking. I mean, he sustained injury. He got tall. He continued to battle. I mean, the mentality of the Senegalese team was encapsulated in the way Lamine Camara played. And to think that at a young age of just 23, he has had 40 caps for Senegal, this looks like one for the future. And they really, they wrested control of that midfield from Senegal. I wanted to ask you, Biodo, Morocco has been having joy down the right flank with Brahim Diaz and Hachif Hakimi. That right side has been so effective in this tournament. But in this game, I don't know, maybe because of Sadio Mane that was playing on that side, Hakimi didn't venture forward too much. And it looks as if one of their tactical jokers didn't work in this game. The right side wasn't so effective. I don't know what you think, Beldo.
Yeah, spot on. Like exactly this was the game was just a replica of the semi-final between Morocco and Nigeria. Nigeria came into that game conservatively and did not kind of give freedom for their fullbacks to overlap, and Morocco capitalized. And Morocco came to the final and did exactly the same thing. Senegal, and now the Senegalese capitalized. Yes, you have to. The threat of Mane and Ismail Assar on both wings actually played a role in not allowing the Moroccan fullbacks to overlap, because that confidence for them to overlap and knowing that they have able body to cover in the midfield. Like you rightly said, the Moroccans played the 4-2-2 formation, which is the box formation, providing cover for their fullbacks when they overlap. If you see when the fullback overlap, Idrissa Gueye is everywhere, moving to the right, to the left to cover those spaces and those fullback position. And Morocco was actually quite scared to allow Hakimi overlap. If you notice, whenever Hakimi overlapped, there were actually two people sitting as box to provide protection for him not to be caught out by Mane. So yes, tactically, I think the Senegalese just went in to play their game, which we've all accused other teams playing Morocco for not doing. Go into those games and play your game, and you can tweak things while the game change. But don't change before going into the game. You've already shot yourself on the foot before even kick off.
Absolutely, well said. And I want to give a big shout out for Iliman Ndiaye too, who was very, very good, but for his finishing that wasn't up to par. He would have opened the scoring with a brilliantly taken effort from a pass from the midfield that sliced open the Moroccan defense. Also, this young boy, Mamadou Sarr, who deputized in the absence of the vastly experienced Kalidou Koulibaly. I think it was a blessing in disguise anyway, because Kalidou, so much for his experience, his recovery pace is not what it used to be. I think that boy did very well in the absence of Kalidou Koulibaly. I don't know what you think, Warifa. Kalidou is their captain, his most experienced player, but the brought him deputized brilliantly in the absence of Koulibaly.
You see, I will not just give kudos alone to the guy that came in for Koulibaly. I'll give kudos to the whole team. They play as a complete team. That is what we lacked in the Super Eagles. These guys, they are real fighters. They believe in themselves. They were determined. Because if you watch Nigerians, we play big boys football. We play European. This is not European football. This is African football. Bringing the African spirit, everything, physical endurance and everything. I believe the Senegalese coach would have studied the game between Morocco and Nigeria, Morocco and Cameroon, because they played against West African team, and what happened? Why didn't Nigeria score whatever? So I think the Senegalese coach did his homework very well. And for him to bring a player to cover up for Koulibaly, I think it's a good one, because that's what I've been saying, that just like he will be now, we need a bully in that creative midfield that can move with this ball. That is what is lacking in Iwobi. Iwobi is good, but he's easily that midfield. I think the Nigerian Super Eagles remains with the Super Eagles. He should toe the line of some of these West African teams and do more scouting. Iwobi is not the only player. We have millions of Africans, Nigerians around the world. So he should look well and look at what happened in Senegal now. Even when Koulibaly was better. I think it's a good one for Senegal. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Then there's one thing again. In this CAF, I'm so much disappointed in CAF. The officiating was zero. They didn't rob. If they are watching this show, CAF, few people need to step up again, because your officiating game between Nigeria and Morocco, zero. Even this game, that goal that Senegal scored, football is a contact game. If you check out that goal that they cancelled, there was no much contact in that. It's just that if you know these North Africans very well, they are very trickish. If you watch their club football, you go to play in their country, you hate football. They will bully you, use all manner of tricks to want to rob you. So I think I should look into those things. If African referee cannot handle it, they should bring South American ref or bring European ref to come and help us until we are matured enough to handle our issues.
Yeah, CAF needs to put their foot on the ground against some of these atrocious decisions. But
the CAF president is not smiling. I don't know why.
I think it's South African, I guess.
South Africa, yeah.
Yeah.
He says what?
I think he's even.
What are you saying, Abedom?
I think he's even better than during the Issa Hayatou era. Issa Hayatou was worse than this guy.
Issa Hayatou, that one is the good. Most Nigeria, Cameroon, Issa Hayatou does influence the rest.
He's not smiling at all. I'm finding it ironic that he's not smiling at all.
He's not smiling at all. So basically,
he cannot smile now. Whether any side win or lose, he won't smile. Let it not be as if.
We cannot blame the issue of the referee on Kev. We cannot blame.
No, you can't. You can't. They're under CAF. 100%. You blame them. They're under CAF.
Because this.
You have to penalize them.
Kev cannot take decisions for them on the pitch. Remember that.
No, don't say that. See, before every game, CAF is supposed to talk to them. Be fair, be neutral. Don't take side on. They are under CAF. They're under CAF.
Yes.
It's CAF. They're wearing CAF and FIFA back.
Listen to me. Did you see the game of Mali against Tunisia?
Yes.
Last minute.
What happened?
Abongile Tom calls the penalty against the North African in the last minute when the game was about to finish. He didn't wait for VAR. He just called the penalty against them. They fly, they do what. Because that
one was clear. It was clear. There are some, if it's not clear, maybe there is a doubt. They have to go to the VAR to check.
But if it was another ref, he would wait for the VAR to come. He was on VAR against Morocco versus Nigeria. There was a time when the Moroccan player hit a ball, then it hit Kevin Bassey's leg, and then it hits the head. If it was another person on VAR, he could have called the referee to VAR, check it. No, it's not a penalty. That guy from VAR, he never even tried to entertain that thing because he's used to dealing with Morocco.
You know what I feel? What I think they should do is, in the Premier League too, they have professional referees association that have experienced referees and all of that. They should form like a committee. We should have that at CAF level too. that can review decisions, and based on their review and recommendations, they could decide to sanction referees. If there's that kind of platform in place, then referees would be in check. I feel they should do something like that, like a professional body of referees with experience that can do review over contentious decisions. And then, if referees are found culpable, they can then, be dealt with. And that will keep the referees on their toes and ensure that the spirit of fairness is carried on whenever any of these big games are being played. I think it's been a wonderful tournament. I want to
agree, Afolabi, sorry, just to chip in, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I think also, yes, I want to agree with Waris to an extent. CAF has a lot of work to do. You can't be a North African team and a West African team can't be playing, and you pick a West African referee. What happened to East Africa? What happened to South Africa?
Ghana for that matter.
Yes,
Ghana for that matter.
You have to get your heart right.
Why not bring
get culpable referees across. So when a South African and a North African is playing, you use a West African referee. When a West African and East African is playing, you use a North African referee. But when a West African and a North African is playing, you are bringing either a West African or a North African coming. Look at the third place game against Nigeria and Egypt. The Egyptians were complaining that the referee was not African. That Egypt and Morocco do not like themselves. Exactly the same thing when Nigeria played Morocco. That Ghana and Nigeria do not like themselves. But CAF is doing the same thing again. So they need to get their hands right ahead of the next AFCON in Tanzania and Kenya.
I agree with you. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I agree as well. I agree. I don't know why the committee chose
things. Yes.
No, we can't have that Ghana is playing in North Africa. We have a referee from Nigeria. We can't have that.
No.
I mean,
not done.
Ghana and Nigeria, they're always on these things. They're always head on.
Yes.
So you cannot. I was disappointed in CAF.
Even a Senegalese
is player of the tournament.
Yes, I think
he deserves it. Well, it's been a fantastic tournament. Congratulations to Senegal. In my own opinion, I think if there's something I need to, credit the Moroccans for, the facilities have been excellent.
Quality, mostly the pitch.
Quality, the pitches and everything. I think Morocco is really ready to host the World Cup. They're excellent facilities, hotel facilities, training pitches. I give it to them. They have invested so much
coverage.
In their yes. I think I need to congratulate the Nigerian team too that came third. And they'll be better for it, and with more experience and better young players, and with some of our older players being faced off, I think the next 2-year cycle, we do have a chance. For myself, Afolabi, Warifa Marcos, Bedu Banjoko, thank you very much for your time. Segodi, you've been wonderful. We'll be back again tomorrow. Good night for now.
Shout out to Mustafa Jinodu.
Yeah, sure.